Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is more Star Wars Battlefront 2. We're playing Galactic Assault, and watch this for a spawn. Hi, Chewbacca. Bye, Chewbacca. Oh, that was pretty good, right? I enjoyed that at the moment. But today's video is going to be joining games late, thanks to the new patch, or the new tweaked matchmaking, but turning it around by the use of an objectively broken character. So, I am playing as a battle droid. I'm using the El Jefe. It's an assault rifle that gets a lot better once you get to attachments for it, and I'm definitely understanding the gun a lot better than I was when I was complaining about it in the previous videos. And we're going to be using Emperor Palpatine in this one to attack. And unfortunately, my team's a little bit too good, their team's a little bit too defensive, and I can't get like a really ridiculous gameplay where the game goes into overtime, it's really competitive, and I come out with 150 eliminations. That's the gameplay I would like to bring you, but unfortunately those are the gameplays that I just can't seem to get at the moment because my teams are too good, and the teams I'm up against crumble too quickly. But Palpatine is on my team at the moment. He's jumping around in this room helping us push this objective as we get rid of the Wookiee, and we fire across there towards the Heavy, and I'm just getting in there. We've got both Bosk and Palpatine. Palpatine just died. Not entirely sure how. I just died. I know exactly how I died. The S5 to the face. But the problem with this character is a problem you've faced if you've played this game. Palpatine can single-handedly change the flow of battle on every single map, pretty much. When somebody's using him and they know how to use him, which doesn't take a lot of practice, because he's very strong and he has some glaring advantages over other people, if somebody's using Palpatine to his full potential, pushing objectives, pushing spawns, holding teams back, denying areas, then you're probably going to win. And you'll notice that like 90% of the games, if a Palpatine gets up and the team doesn't deal with him, he's going to run amok and the team is going to stomp you. It's come to the point where I actively hunt Palpatines because it seems like none of my team will. And when you're a trooper, guys, life is not precious. It's your job to throw yourself into the fray and to help the team. So you'll notice right now, I have teammates left and right at this door just kind of chilling out and acting as if this is search and destroy, whereas I'm running towards the door and getting stuck in and trying to, you know, stop people and push forward through the blockade of defenders, because that's what, to me, this is all about. I don't really see the idea of playing super defensive in this game when you're attacking, because the point is to try and get some kind of advantage. So I get reckless, but I also know with my recklessness, I can play as a hero. Because I've earned points, I'm now Palpatine. My cards are blue on Palpatine, they're not purple. For some reason people have a problem with purple cards. Purple cards take a long time to get, so I don't know why people have problems with them, they're well earned. But Palpatine with the right cards can be even worse than he is without them. And it's for a lot of really fundamental flaws. The first one is his electricity damage. You can use both triggers to make Palpatine's hands electrocute at the same time, and it does sporadically incredible damage. It's very inconsistent though, and I don't really understand it too much. I've tried to test it in solo arcade with split screen on versus mode, and I still can't get a grasp of why it does more damage sometimes and then at times it doesn't. There are moments where you will melt people in a second with your hands, and then there are moments where people will take an entire charge of full fatigue to red circle before they die, and I can't quite figure out why. And it's oftentimes the heavies that seem to take the most damage, which makes a little bit of sense, right? Because they have 200 life. But that's only 50 more than a standard trooper, and the standard troopers can drop in seconds. So do the heavies have some kind of correlated defense against electricity? Like, look at Han Solo just then. We melted Han Solo. Yet, there are times when you don't melt people, and they take forever to die. Like, just then was a slightly longer time to kill, right? And I think the lack of consistency with the lightning is what makes him feel so cheap on the surface, because there are times when you bump into him and he jumps and electrocutes you and you die immediately. You don't even get a chance to shoot him much. And then there are other times where you get a chance to shoot him a lot and he does incredible damage. And bear in mind, there are certain benefits to using things like Dark Aura and electrocution, and they give you bonus damage properties, but I don't think you get them unless you use the star cards for them, so the lightning just has that hit and miss nature to it, and if you're hitting more than you're missing, the enemy team is going to be very frustrated. And then that brings us, of course, to his ability to fire electricity through doors and through geometry. So this archway here, I can stay pretty much in cover and fire my electricity through the doorway and hit people on the other side, even though I'm not in direct line of sight with them. People don't like dying to things that don't direct line of sight you. It's just one of those universal human traits of video games. Nobody likes to die from something they didn't see, or they felt like they couldn't see. And that's another reason why Palpatine is so ridiculously freakishly strong, because he can stand behind cover, almost completely safe now Supercharged Sentry is no longer a thing, and he can obliterate you, and ruin your heroes and suppress your team. And to make things even worse, the spawn doors, which are doors that only open for the team that are coming out of them, he can attack through them. He can actively keep people from pushing through spawn doors. So on a moment such as this, where this is a giant circular room with about 4 or 5 entrances that they can spawn from, and I can stop them completely from getting in this room, which is their objective, to defend it, right? And I do this because the lightning takes no skill to aim, does so much damage, and can go through geometry. So all of this is compounding in an incredible Palpatine problem if he's not killed, and when the team don't go for him, he's incredibly tough to take out, because he's very evasive, his dodge is one of the best in the game, his life recovers really, really well, and then even if you do take damage, which is almost a miracle unless you played bad or you were up against a good hero, you can use Chain Lightning to get it back, and the Chain Lightning does about 200 damage when you shoot people with it. So can you imagine shooting a hero that has 600 life with Chain Lightning while you're electrocuting them? They just don't last. He has such an incredible burst of DPS, it's fantastic. Like, I think when you get right down to it, the character or the hero that can do the most damage in one shot is probably Chewbacca. But it has to be a headshot, and you have to ADS, and you have to get every single bolt on their face. But if you remove that, you have Palpatine with his electricity and his Chain Lightning hitting at the same time, and if you're using Dark Aura or Electrocute to get those extra bits of damage, you're getting even more DPS, and that's not even talking about how fast he can deliver damage when he wants to. So it all culminates in this character that has incredible agility to continually jump and continually dodge and make himself very difficult to hit. He has an incredible offense of electricity that doesn't need to be aimed. Like, look at this poor guy here with the Vanguard. He's trying to get rid of me, he's trying to do his job, but I'm jumping around like a lunatic, and he can't see me, you know? If his sensitivity was a bit higher, he might have had an easier time, but you can't expect people to be able to track this kind of character. Look at my movement. I'm not even a good Palpatine, you know, I'm just a nuisance. But he is so strong, and then on top of that, he has the ability to stun you and stun heroes. So if you get the drop on a Palpatine and you're close, he can freeze you, so you can't move, and then he's free to electrocute you to death, and if there's any teammates with him, you're dead. So taking him out can be a risk in and of itself, because you're afraid to get near him, because when you get near him he melts you, when you get near him he stuns you, when you get near him he fucks off. Like, he has everything going for him, and almost no glaring weakness. And I have no problem with strong heroes, guys. As you can see, I'm playing Palpatine, I'm trying to win. I think the heroes should be strong. It's just Palpatine has no weakness, and the other heroes feel considerably weaker compared to him. So he needs to have a lot of adjustments made, but I pray that they don't kill him, because I feel like he should be strong. He just shouldn't be able to shoot through doors, and he should have some kind of glaring weakness. And at the moment, the only weakness I can think of is if everybody shoots him at the same time and he can't get away. But how often does that really happen realistically? Not that often, right? Thank you for watching. You take care now.